Welcome to News Today with Universal Parks News Today. I'm Eric Morton, and here is the news for January 1st, 2021. First of all, thanks to Tom Corliss for filling in last week. He did a fantastic job. Now let's get on with the news. On December 30th, Universal Studios Florida and Universal's Islands of Adventure had both reached capacity as of 7:30 a.m. Signs at the entrance warned guests of the situation. Universal Orlando Resort has since released an official update, although they state that the parks reached capacity by 8:10 a.m. The parks have had a recent string of capacity closures, filling up every day since last Sunday. This prompted Universal Orlando Resort to warn guests the night before that they would possibly reach capacity. Just the day prior, the parks had closed to guests before 9 a.m. with no reopening later in the day. You can see our report on just how crowded the parks have been during the last few days over on our site. It is pretty interesting, and Annie, our reporter, went live a couple times just so you could see how crowded it was. It looked pretty boisterous there. So as we said, both parks had been reaching capacity almost daily for the past 2 weeks. The crowds seemed even worse on New Year's Eve, though Universal Orlando Resort had not yet announced the parks were closed when we visited. We were at Universal Studios Florida bright and early, as was seemingly everyone else. Crowds were pouring into the park for early admission at 7 a.m., though not everyone had access to this extra hour. It only got worse as the sun rose, despite the fact that no special entertainment was planned for New Year's Eve. The streets were getting packed around the park's entrance, and we saw a team member pull his mask down to tell people not to crowd and to stand to the side if they did not have an early park admission. We got through with our early admission, leaving behind a huge crowd of waiting guests. People were even waiting for Fast and Furious Supercharged, one of the least popular attractions in the park. The gates were soon open to regular guests. By 8 a.m., the line for Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts stretched out of Diagon Alley onto the London streets. There was a 2-hour wait for the Wand Experience at Ollivander's Wand Shop. The line for Transformers The Ride stretched down New York Street. Extended queues had been set up for several attractions. As of 10:30 a.m., the parks were not at capacity. They would later reach capacity. Universal Orlando Resort has released a new piece of concept art for the Jurassic World VelociCoaster, the new roller coaster coming, of course, to Jurassic Park section of Universal's Islands of Adventure in the summer of 2021. The art, featuring a coaster train running past velociraptors beneath a Jurassic World gate, is featured on the resort's info sign-up page, where guests can get email updates about the attraction, likely including when an official opening date is announced. Guests are seen wearing face masks on the coaster. After months of secrecy, Universal has begun to share the looks of the ride, including a POV ride-through of the launch sequence. Hopefully, life will find a way, Osprey's willing, come next summer. Yes, she's still at it, building her nest pretty much daily. Voodoo Donut at Universal's City Walk has a new holiday donut in its lineup. We've already reviewed the snowman and the ornament donuts, and now we're trying the special New Year donut, which is only available through January 3rd, 2021, so hurry up, you got a couple days. This rectangular fried yeast donut is filled with raspberry white mocha whipped cream, dipped in chocolate icing and covered with sprinkles as fireworks. Our donut was decorated a little differently than the display version. The splatter-looking fireworks reminded us of vintage Nickelodeon designs, but the days of Nickelodeon Studios are, of course, long gone. If you want to try this 2021 treat for yourself, it is $3.75 at Voodoo Donut. You can head over to our site for our full review. One of the most exciting additions to the theme park world as we enter 2021 is certainly going to be Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Japan. The highly anticipated expansion is set to open on February 4th, and Universal is certainly doing its part to drive hype for the grand opening, including ongoing previews as early as last week. Now USJ has started airing Super Nintendo World ads on Osaka and Kansai area TV stations. Twitter user @USJ1, a local in Osaka, shared the first spot on Twitter, which first aired on December 30th, and features guests experiencing Super Nintendo Land's interactive features, as well as Mario Kart Koopa's Challenge, Yoshi Adventure, and the Bowser Jr. Key Challenge, among many others. The fun has been touched up with some creative CGI effects, of course, but it still gets the point across. The second spot entirely focuses on Mario Kart Koopa's Challenge, the flagship attraction in this expansion. Guests can be seen racing through iconic courses like Bowser's Castle and Rainbow Road, as well as obtaining items used to throw at other racers. This is some of the first footage we've seen, at least resembling the revolutionary AR-based attraction experience. Super Nintendo World opens February 4th at Universal Studios Japan, but previews are underway now for annual pass holder lottery winners. And don't miss the Nintendo Direct live stream featuring Shigeru Miyamoto from earlier this month. There's tons of details to catch up on, so please check that out. For more information on these stories and more, head on over to universalparksnewstoday.com. If you're enjoying the show, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to Universal Parks News Today on YouTube for more great content. Click that bell for notifications and make sure to hit select all notifications so that you never miss an episode of News Today with Universal Parks News Today. For UPNT, this is Eric Morton saying the future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one.